Hello. Yeah, hold on. Actually, let me. Sorry, I needed to cough. As you can tell, my voice is still really hoarse. Um, that's part of the reason why I haven't live in a while. I'm still getting over this cold or flu or whatever the heck it was. The doctor says it was a flu, but um, they thought I had RSV. But now my parents actually got sick and they had COVID. So now they're starting to think that I ran a false positive or false negative, whatever. Anyway, so that's what's been going on with me, and I apologize for not being able to come live in a while. I'm hoping I feel a lot better than I sound, but it's hard for me to keep up talking. So yeah, and I'm still coughing and sneezing and stuff like that. But I think that's just normal. Anyway, so welcome everybody. Hey Rhonda. Um, I hope everybody has had a good week or two since I've been live. Um, I'm starting to catch up on things too. So I just want to make a quick little announcement. I did send Brendan the Zoom contest entries. So he should be getting them in the next day or two. I think they actually got there yesterday. So I think he should be getting them today. He's really excited to go over that stuff. Hey Maggie, hey Roxana. Well, sorry, that's me coughing. I don't want to cough into this mic. Anyway, so um, yeah, so he's really excited about going over that stuff. I'm excited too, and to see who wins what. Um, we've got hey Verna, we've got the pizza event coming up. I believe it's in like a couple of days. Oh, it's tomorrow. Yay, pizza tomorrow, guys. So that's exciting. Um, and then we've got the popcorn, I believe, is in like a week or two. And then we've got the second annual sweater contest, ugly sweater contest. So that's coming up in December. So you gotta get your ugly sweaters ready. I sound worse than I feel, Roxana. I still cough. I think so. I had COVID back in 2020, and I think my lungs are still damaged from it. So when I got sick this last time, it really like did one in for me. That's why it's important not to catch COVID, guys, because you might survive it. It can do a ringer on you. Hey, Carol. So that's why I'm still coughing, though. I'm still um, coughing up stuff, but that's good. I'm not contagious. But anyway, um, let's see. I sent out a whole bunch of postcards like a couple of days ago, guys. So everybody should be getting their postcards here soon. If you haven't gotten them yet, I'd say by next week, let me know. I got a stack here still that I was going to send to over Canada and stuff. So if you're in Canada or in Australia, just know I'm waiting for Friday for me to go in and actually buy the stamps for this stuff. But everybody in state, you should be getting more postcards soon. So everybody who's been paying attention to the politics probably is aware that Governor Evers won again. Excuse me. Didn't have time for that. Let me pull up. I will just say, all right off the bat, I'm very indifferent to who wins, who loses as far as Wisconsin politics. My main focus is on Brendan and who's gonna free Brendan. It means little to me and who actually is the governor because I don't live there, obviously. It doesn't affect my day-to-day life. No matter how my politics are, you know, as far as goes. I very much want I've been a free people. Uh, so there is Governor Evers. It was close. I was up all night, but I was basically watching like a hawk last night. It was pretty close. The race and all that. So it was actually kind of fun to sit there and watch the numbers bounce around. But it looks like they're still getting more numbers. And on how it works is that they wait and look a certain percentage, and then they'll announce it based off of the percentage of how it's going as it is. So, like once it hit like 90%, they announced that the projected winner was Governor Evers. So that's not counting yet, but it's obviously so over the amount of what would be the winner that they're saying on. I also found it very interesting, and so I know I found it very interesting that majority in all states that went blue this year for governor, the blue was the major cities and the red was the rural areas. Like areas like Madison, Milwaukee, no Green Bay is here, so that was still red. Like all of these big areas where the population voted blue. I thought that was interesting. That's just a side note. It I'm not saying neither side is good or bad. Uh, just this little thing. Right, girl. As far as the Attorney General was still Josh Call. That was also a very close race. Um, no, cannot be reached. There it is. Yeah, Josh Call, and that was very close. So, sorry, and that's sad. Um, Wisconsin's very and it's political, and I had to. Yes, I would say I hope this is a wake up call. Josh Call and for Governor Evers, pay attention. Oh, am I robotic? Hold on. Exit that out. Is that better? Is it better now? I think it was because of the Wi-Fi. It's my internet. I was doing too much, besides too much for my little internet. Okay, yeah, see, it was the website I was on. Anyway, so as you guys can see, it was very divided. I hope, if anything, it's a wake-up call to Governor Evers and to Josh Call that people are starting to question them. That's the main goal that I always wanted to do with my advocating Brendan isn't necessarily to say you vote for this person or that person, but it's to question the people in power and tell them this is what we need from you. You know what I mean? Like, as far as we need a politician who will stand up and do the right thing for people like Brendan. Whether that's a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter to me. Just, you got to do the right thing. So if Governor Evers lost, I still would be the only plus side I would think to Governor Evers losing was that it would be more. I don't even want to say it would be more likely it would free Brendan because who really knows, right? We can't predict her. The only thing I could say is that if he lost, then we could use that as some sort of like campaigning to like, hey, what do you have to lose now? Free Brendan. It's not like you're going to upset people. You're not going to be reelected. It doesn't matter, right? Free Brendan. But, I would like to think if he would have wanted to free Brendan, he would have done it 4 years ago. So, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. So that's why I say, like, to me, it's I'm indifferent on the winning, like, as far as Wisconsin goes, because I just want Brendan home. That's my main focusing goal, and the other plus side to Governor Evers being governor still is change my rally sign. I can still use the same one for as long as I need for the next 4 years. So, hey, under your scars. That's really the only plus, I guess, as far as that goes. But yeah, I have I'm probably gonna order more postcards because I really want to push everybody to sending these postcards until the end of the year. I think that should be our goal. Still, it's still push, and we need to push harder. We've got the holidays coming up, guys, and I I it's so hard during the holidays because there's so much going on. As far as, everyone's got their families and stuff, and it's really hard to think that Brendan's still sitting there during Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving. Like, it's probably the hardest time of the year for me. I can imagine how his family feels. So, if I could ask anybody here to do me a huge favor and let's just like go hard these next few months. Let's really start getting the message clear to Governor Evers that he needs to send Brendan home, you know? Um, so I'm gonna probably order some more postcards coming up this Friday. I'm gonna be sending them out like crazy to you guys. Um, Roxana, I know I sent you 2 envelopes. You should be getting a bunch. Rhonda is also giving out postcards. You guys, so really, really, really start, let's just start pushing this and let's start getting this out there. Just because he might think his work is done, but it's done, he still got the free Brendan. Got to. He's got to do it, guys. So make sure you email me. Yeah, I hear UK for Rhonda, UK postcards for Brendan at gmail.com. For me, Brendan Talks 89 at gmail.com. Let's really start getting this going. Yeah, my voice is still hoarse and all that from being sick. I don't know when it's gonna get better. I need hot tea sounds amazing right now. I'm drinking, like, a bunch of water, and I'm drinking my usual sparkling water too, but I was really drinking a lot of tea with brandy. Yeah, it's called a hot toddy, Gary. Um, so when I was, like, really, like, at the worst of being sick, my mom was making me hot toddies because I couldn't get comfortable for I felt more sick with this than I did with COVID back in 2020. Like, it was miserable. I couldn't even sleep, I couldn't get comfortable, but my mom would make a hot toddy. Dude, it would knock me out for a little bit. I was so grateful for those. For the morning ritual of his life, hot tea and brandy, I believe it. There's a reason why they did that when they went back in the old days. They I Googled it too while I was sick because I was like, "Is this, like, actually healthy or what?" But, I mean, a lot of in research is like, you shouldn't drink, brandy or whiskey because it dehydrates you when you're sick, but you're not getting drunk off of it, and it helped. It really soothed my throat and helped with the coughing, and it helped relax me, like, it helped with the chills because I was breaking out into chills with the fever and all that, and why the fuck not? If I'm gonna die from a flu, I might as well die of some brandy, right? So I like hot water with lemon and cinnamon, add honey. Yeah, when I was this is hilarious. When I went back to work, my first day back to work, I literally swung by my favorite coffee place, and I just like, "Can I just get, like, a large glass or large cup of hot water and that's it?" And, like, I literally sat there and drank just straight up hot water at work because it just felt so good. But yeah, no, I could totally see doing that too, Carrie, hot water with lemon and cinnamon, add honey. That sounds bomb. Roxana, we drink tequila. I can't do tequila. It makes me so like, the smell of it, ugh. When I was younger, that was when I turned 21, let me just say that, that's how that day for me. Um, but excuse me. So, yeah, that's pretty much, what's going on politics-wise. Governor Evers won, Josh Call won. Ron Johnson is still, has a seat in Congress or the Senate or whatever that is. So that's cool. Um, I guess. Like I said, I don't live there, so it doesn't do like I pay attention to Arizona politics too last night. I was on both of that. They haven't called Arizona yet, but I'm kind of happy so far with what the reflection is going on. So, um, if that tells you who I would normally vote for if you look at that. But anyway, but like as far as Wisconsin, I'm more indifferent. I just want whoever will free Brendan, and I know Republicans are more tough on crimes and so not downing or complaining or trying to offend anybody, but I've heard that it is a most likely good for Governor Evers because he would be more likely statistically due to politics to free Brendan. But like I said, it's been 4 years since he's been you know, governor and nothing, and he's not freed Brendan. So, um, say it as you want. Yeah, Johnson is leading, but hasn't been called. Yeah, that's true. So it literally, and technically because they're at 94%, um, he's Governor Evers is projected. They can, I mean, guy, Tim Michaels could do a recount if he wanted to, and they could do a recount and it could come out differently. It's not official yet. It's just the projection, like, this is most likely what he so and the press thing called it, so Associated Press. Yeah, see, they're like it says it's 1% away from being 100 counted, so, it looks pretty good in Tony Evers's favor with 51%. So, Senate is Ron Johnson, 50%. Oh my god, Maggie, Sun tea is so good. Oh, you mean some or sun? Sun tea is so good. I love sun tea. You guys, that's so southern too. You just get a big giant jug of water and you stick Lipton tea in it, and then you put a cover over it or something, and then you just sit it in your windowsill in the hot sun. Oh my god, I love sun tea. Some tea though. Tea is good though. Tea. I wouldn't mind trying it with the cinnamon candies too, Maggie. It wouldn't be a bad idea. If you take the hot tea and then put the cinnamon candies in it. Lots of ice for me. Yep, yep, iced tea, iced sun tea. But yeah, House, U.S. House Representatives. It looks like the Republicans took majority in that with 6-2. I don't really follow that, so I don't know. Maybe those are people we could also start writing to. Maybe. I'll look more into that. Actually, maybe we can add a list of people. Um, these are the House representatives, I guess, in Wisconsin, U.S. House. So, and then like the governor, um, Tony Evers one. So, oh, Laura Nyrider here. Let me show you guys. She tweeted this morning too. It was a nice tweet. Let me bring it up for you guys. Yeah, Arizona's still at 66% of the votes counted. I'm like, hurry up, guys. Come on. Let's do this. Okay. Arizona's always slow. All right. Is this it? Yep. Nope. That's not it. That's a different tweet. That's a joke tweet. Here, you guys can read it while I wrong tweet. Hold on. That's hilarious. That came to me. It's so small print for me when I'm trying to. Hey, Jaznaz. Will you do an update in the group with names and addresses once everything's done for Oh, yeah, absolutely, Mag will. I will. Yeah, Jaznaz, it seems like, Governor Evers is still gonna be governor. But yeah, once everything's said and done, I'll get all the addresses together and we can definitely here's the one I wanted to show you guys. This is what, Laura Nyrider wrote. Whether you vote blue red or blue, there are such things as common decency. in the world. I believe those qualities transcend politics for most folks. If you cut through all the noise, common sense and decency are on Brendan's side. Let's bring him home. I agree, but also I wish that people in Wisconsin had common sense and decency because I feel like if he did, he would have been free quite a little few years ago, right? So, um, but let's hope. I'm hopeful for the future. Um, you see Donna's comment? Yes, I did. Donna said, "Let's go." She's like, "Let's get on this. Let's do this, Laura." Yeah, I think that's what she said. "Let's do this, Laura." Let's do this, Laura. Let's do it then. That's what she said. Yeah, she's awesome. I love Donna. Yep. New filing request to get a review his domestic petition. Alfred, play anything and everything, get that man home the world. I agree, Rhonda. I'm reading your tweet right now, and I agree. I'm just retweeting it too. Rhonda said on Twitter, she said, yes, let's get Brendan home. He's been patient enough. A new filing, a request to Governor Evers to review his clemency petition by an independent panel. Alfred plea, anything and everything just to get that man home. The world must unite for Brendan Dassey. 100% Rhonda, I agree with that. Anything and anything. You know, I just want Brendan home. I know a lot of you do too. I don't care. I know he doesn't even care if he gets some sort of payout. He just wants to go home. You know, just send him home. Without you and I share political decisions. Yeah. Uh, so they would have to figure out how to let him out without showing they did something wrong. You know, an Alfred plea would be the perfect way for them to do that, Carol, to be honest with you. If they offered him an Alfred plea and then they gave him, it's basically like saying you have the option to basically go home, but we will not responsibility for you. Like there's enough evidence to convict you, but not enough to keep you, sort of thing. So um, yeah, I don't know um, if the state ever will. I'm not sure how that works. I think the state has to offer the Alford plea too. I'm not 100% sure, but I would like to think that if he was offered one, he might take it because like I said, I don't know though. That's a hard question because then you would have to still admit guilt. You went to Comic Con, Jazz? Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Aw, was it in London or did you go to or did you go to San Diego? It was funny to go to San Diego one, but it's just so expensive and it's kind of, yep, London. Yeah. No, San Diego is the one with the Comic Con in America, the big one. It's it's I've always wanted to go, but like I've always heard that it's mostly just like a lot of like Yeah, Maggie, there's a way that, you could when you accept the Alford plea, you can stand up and say, "I accept the Alford plea and the terms of the Alford plea, but I do not, I am innocent of this crime." Let me actually see if I can find something, right, Jaznaz? Let me see if I can find. Right, it's just such a conflicting thing, the Alfred plea, it's so conflicting. That's why, and I ask people this all the time, what would you do if you're in Brendan or any wrongful convicted person situation? Would you accept? I think Stephen Avery made a statement once saying he would never accept an Alford plea. It's either full exonerated or he'll stay in prison sort of thing. Um, Let me see if I can find. Maintaining innocence. How long is that video? Hopefully. Well, here's Michael Peterson's, which is a famous case. Um, Hold on, let me see. It's 45 minutes long. Yeah, like I mean, if and each person's different in life. Like if it was me, for instance, like I'm 35 years old. So if I went to prison for something I didn't do, it's not like I have kids. Oh shit. Wait, Michael Peterson's son? The wrongfully convicted Michael Peterson's son? He got his ass kicked the other day? That's scary. But I'm 35, I don't have kids, I don't have, um, a husband. So, if I were to, be thrown in prison for life for something I didn't do, I'd probably be more likely to not take an Alford plea and to fight for my innocence because it's not now Brendan's situation's different. He's been in prison since he was a teenager. He's still got his whole life ahead of him. He's never had a chance to live life like I have, you know what I mean? So it's still, he's got his whole life to look forward to. Right, I would not wanna be in a situation I wouldn't either. Jazz knows that. And then you got somebody like Stephen Avery who also, he's been in for a majority of his life, you know, and, but he like I said, Stephen said that he wouldn't take the Alford plea if he was offered it. So but like Michael Peterson, he was, oh, shoot, he was in his 60s or 70s I mean, he was old when he was arrested, and he was dying in prison, guys, he was dying. So, I think with him, he was more interested and he's got kids, and he's got grandkids, I think even, so he was more interested in spending the rest of his life enjoying his children and grandchildren, and so, like, it is a hard decision. I guess it's just a matter of what do you have to lose versus gain. Um, but Peterson's hearing, this is when he took the Alford plea. Also, if you guys wanna watch The Staircase on Netflix, that's the case that involves his trial and all that. It's called The Staircase. And just to give, like, a rough summary, his wife basically died, in an accident. A lot of people feel like, some people feel like he did it, like, knocked her down the stairs. Um, Other people, like me, think it was an accident. There's even a theory that involves an owl, like, an owl came down and I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny that she died, but it's just such, like, an out there theory to me, like, an owl came into the house and attacked her. It sounds ridiculous when you say it, but, like, that's the actual, like, there's a theory. There's an actual theory that involves an owl. So, it's just a matter of, who people think he pushed because of her. Yeah, I think she fell. I think she fell down the stairs. I don't think he did anything malicious towards her. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, a lot of people, it's just like any other wrongful conviction case. Um, a lot of people, but they found feathers. See, that's what's crazy to me, Jasnaz. If the owl theory was correct and they found the feathers, why didn't they bring that up during trial? They didn't. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the owl theory is wrong. I'm just saying that it why didn't they bring up the feathers during trial if they felt that she died like that? Anyway, so, basically, could have been on the ground because she passed away. I think they said that there's some in her hair, actually, that they found, like, a couple of feathers in her hair. Anyway, um, either way, I don't think he killed his wife. I think that he was wrongfully convicted, and I think but anyway, so he spent quite a few years in prison, um, because he was wrongfully convicted, and, he was arrested when he was, like, in his 40s or 50s, and he didn't really fully get out of prison, I think, until he was in his late 60s, early 70s. So, and he did his interviews during this whole entire process in that staircase, documentary, and he often said, like, it was killing him being in prison. The lifestyle was not good on his body or his mind. He was having issues with pain in his back and his legs, and, he was just wasting away. So he did what he felt like he had to do to spend the rest of his life, with his family. His children were his priority. His children were older, by the way, and grown up, but it's still, he still wanted to spend time with his children with what time he had left. So he does anyway. So this is where he takes the plea deal. Let me see if I can skim to, if I had to guess where that part is, it would probably be, well, that's when his sister was talking, or her sister was talking. Here we go. Yeah, a lot of her family apparently. Yeah, and that's fair to say, Jazz. It's 100% because, like I said, it's hard to say with some of these cases because it's like, I mean, you could. It's so hard to say with his case because it was all a matter of what did it look like to you. As far as the wounds on her head and all that, I don't know.
Prison, you lost your reputation, you lost your home, you're indigent. You are still being held accountable and liable for a wrongful death suit that you owe Kathleen's daughter, Caitlin, $25 million, but actually with interest, it's closer to $50 million. And you will be pursued for that money.
That's the victim's sister, by the way. So that's the victim's sister, and Kathleen is the victim's daughter. They didn't share children together. The victim had her own daughter, he had his own sons, and then the couple adopted 2 separate girls from a different situation. I know, I've been thinking about doing that for a while, Carrie, about making just like a generalized true crime channel and discussing other cases other than Brendan's case, because they're all so fascinating and interesting. But I don't mind discussing them here because in a way they all kind of relate back to Brendan. Because like I said, you could reference what an Alford plea is through this case, to show like an example of an Alford plea for Brendan's case. Because this would be, I have thoughts I want to share, right? And maybe I will start doing that. Maybe I will make another channel for that. I don't know. Because I always wanted to discuss all sorts of different cases that are important to me, not just Brendan's case, but like it's just really, I don't know if I would have the audience for it, but anyway. So this is basically also kind of like the setup of what an Alford plea is. It's basically a hearing. The judge will call you in and you'll sit where he's sitting. And then people have the right to speak. So that's what the victim's sister's doing right now. She's basically making a point to tell him that, yeah, you're taking an Alford plea, but you're still guilty of the crime.
Today, what my family has always wanted to hear. You are pleading guilty today to beating my sister Kathleen to death. Michael Peterson, not only can you wear the scarlet letter A for adultery, but also the black letter G for guilty. Not perfect justice, but justice. Thank you, Your Honor.
Look at his face. Sorry. It's not funny. That's kind of funny.
The state recognizes that the posture of this case is not the same as it was during the first trial. We've examined extensively the evidence that is available. We are aware of the rulings, and we understand that all the evidence that was presented at the first trial may not necessarily be admissible at the second. As a result of that, we have consulted with the family, and we have tendered this plea to the defense. We would ask that you accept it.
All right. Anything as to any aspect of sentencing from the defense?
I like his lawyer too a lot, Carrie. Is it Randolph? Randall?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Dornfree, the clerk's office wants to know about possible evidence. It appears that there will be no reason for them to continue to protect and store evidence as they've done for
That's his name. Thank you,
15
Jazz
years.
Naz.
They want to know if the state has a position on whether they can destroy or release that evidence.
Your Honor, I would ask for that we postpone that decision until the period for which I don't think Mr. Peterson will appeal this. However, he has that right, should he wish to do so, and I believe that's 10 days, so we would ask to delay that decision until that time, at which point, should there be no appeal, we'll take the appropriate measures to relieve the clerk of the evidence.
All right, that makes sense. Mr. Peterson, if you stand where you are. Ms. Clerk, the defendant, Mr. Peterson, is sentenced pursuant to the terms and conditions of his negotiated arrangement. His plea of guilty pursuant to Alford is accepted by the court. He's sentenced to an active term of 64 months minimum, 86 months maximum in the Division of Adult Corrections. He's given credit for time already served in relation to this offense. Mr. Rudolph, anything else?
Two things, Your Honor. I believe Mr. Peterson's passport, although expired, is still at the clerk's office. And we'd like to get that back because it makes it a lot easier for him to get a second passport. And we want to make sure that the bond, any liens on the houses that were put up for his bond in 2011 are released by the clerk's office.
All right, the clerk has released his passport.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I would also just point out that Mr. Peterson served, and justly, I might add, 98 months in the Department of Correction, which exceeds his sentence. I've spoken to the Department of Correction. I think I sent Your Honor the confirmation that
8
his
years
sentence is therefore served, and he doesn't need to report anywhere, and he's free to go at this point.
All right, the court does find that he has served his time and he is free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, counsel?
Definitely
Yes, sir.
reference this case.
I was hoping,
Shut us down.
Hold
Mr.
on.
Dick.
All right.
because didn't he do a speech?
And understanding anything as to argument as to any aspect of sentencing from the state, Mr. Doinfree.
Your Honor, family members are present and do wish to address the court, which I believe a flaw, but rather with a meeting. Your Honor, that would summarize, combined with the incorporation of the evidence at the previous trial that the state would present for purposes of the basis here today.
Anything as to the factual basis from the defense?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Your Honor, you sat through a 4-month trial at which we disputed every single one of the facts
I guess he didn't.
that Mr. Doinfree just articulated. Most of the evidence related to Dwayne Deaver, and this court has already found that Mr. Deaver committed perjury at Mr. Peterson's trial. As for Deborah Radish, we found a note within the last 2 months, which indicated that contrary to her
I was wrong.
testimony,
I thought he gave a speech. I know the West Memphis 3 did. This is good. We're going on a rabbit hole, guys, because I'm going to find the speech. West Memphis 3. Oxford plea.
My name is Damian Eccles. I'm 36 years old and released today from death row for a crime I did not commit over 18 years ago.
Been released from agency, started 18 years for crime I didn't commit. You don't probably know. You get more. Yeah. Lord just stepped down here. Everybody else, everybody come on. Yeah,
Jesse Miskit, not Jesse.
Why?
Jason Baldwin.
All the folks that are Lori and the family and Eddie and Natalie and
in? Do you want them to start answering questions?
No, I would just wait. I would wait. I just want Lori and, oh, sorry, but we're just waiting for the rest of the family. Yeah, and they'll
I think they're waiting for. His wife to show up is what they're waiting for.
Sorry, Damien, anyone?
I think it had a pretty big impact just because they knew they wouldn't be able to get away with a lot of stuff that they got away with the first time. They knew there would be more people watching this, more attention on this case, so they wouldn't be able to pull the same tricks. You know, basically when we went to trial the first time, they came in with ghost stories, rumors, innuendo, things that really had nothing to do with the case whatsoever. And they knew now the whole world was watching them. They wouldn't be able to do the same thing. They would have to come with some sort of concrete physical evidence, and they didn't have any, and they knew that.
What did you guys talk about now that you moved back together?
We haven't really had much time to talk about anything because we've been in separate places at the jail, and you know, just the few minutes that we've been together before the hearing and now, so we haven't had a great deal of time to talk about it.
What did you say about Jesse?
Lori's with you now.
Yes.
Talk about what her role in all of this has meant for you and the case as a whole.
Lori is the thing that's kept me strong and sane.
That's his wife.
That's allowed me to survive over the past 18 and a half years. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. She's probably done.
She met him. They met each other while he was still in prison, and they got married. And she was like one of his big advocates, like as far as getting organizing things for him and getting. Hey, Broken Justice, it's good to see you. Yeah. So that's who Lori is. She went above and beyond for Damien and the other two because, you know, they Damien Eccles and Jason Baldwin were trialed together. So that was part of the reason why also if Jason Baldwin had to take the offered plea, because if he didn't take it, then they wouldn't allow Damien Eccles to take it either. And that was part of the reason why he took it, was because Damien Eccles was on death row and he was going to die pretty soon. Like, I think it was like a couple of months away from this. So he basically, Jason Baldwin saved Damien Eccles' life. So, yes, they are still married and together. Damien Eccles writes books, and he actually is really big in the magic and Wiccan and all that stuff. And so he does a lot of workshops and stuff on that. He wrote a couple of books about his time in prison and how it basically saved his life and kept his sanity. And she's been his partner through and through and all of that stuff. They live in New York, I think, together. And you can see he has a YouTube channel that he doesn't really go on anymore. But yeah, so that's I just want to give a little insight on who Lori is to Damien. Of course, he's saying, you know, she saved his life and blah blah blah. So
More work on this case than anyone else who's been involved with it from the very beginning. You know, she spends pretty much her every waking moment of every day working on this case.
Can you talk a little bit about coming to the decision that this is something?
and she's such a nice. Look at the energy she has. I just love Lori.
Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry.
About coming to the decision that this is something you did not want to do, but
Carrie.
you decided you had to do.
I was willing to, you know, if it was just me, as much as I'd hate just, you know, just be in that place, I'm obviously ready to get out of prison. I want to be out, you know, deserve to be out. But I was ready to fight it trial and court as much as possible. But he had it so much worse.
Yeah,
than I
he
had
did.
it, on death row, and it's just insufferable to put a person through that and for any more minutes. And I don't even know why I didn't even think too much of that at first, when the plea came to me. But I'm just glad that he's out now and he's going to be with his wife and, surrounded by people who love him and care for him. And it's not just intent on hurting him.
That was the thing. Damien Eccles was beaten daily, raped, tortured. He was also dying in prison. Like, he was not having a good time. Not that anybody has a good time in prison, but he was being terrorized daily. If you see him now, he has to wear sunglasses because of his eyes were damaged so much being in death row. The sunlight hurt his eyes. Like, my heart seriously breaks for all three of these men, that what they had to experience. But Damien's story is just so heartbreaking. Right. I feel the same way, Roxanne. I feel there's so many people out there that don't have a voice, don't have the support. So grateful for everything Brendan has. He has such an amazing support system. And every time I come across somebody who doesn't have that, I seriously, my heart breaks for them too. And I wish there was more I could do for everybody, but I'm only one person. It's like, it's kind of like with Steven, not saying Steven doesn't have a good support system, but like, if I could multiply myself and then have one part self make do things for Steven like I do for Brendan, I would. But it's just so much for one person. And, if you see somebody out there that needs help though and wrongfully convicted, try to be there for them as much as you can. That's all I can really say. Even a letter every now and then helps a lot.
I want to publicly thank Jason too, just to let him know that I do acknowledge what he did, that he did want to keep fighting. He didn't want to take this deal in the beginning. And I recognize
Sandy's
and
awesome.
acknowledge that he did do it almost entirely for me. Thank you.
Mr. Braga? A few minutes ago, the state stood up and demanded that these guys they believed that they were the guys who did it. How do you guys feel, having worked on this case?
Is this not where they do their public? Man, I can't seem to get it right.
When you look at the case, the way
I
it
think this
resolved,
is just
you
the press
don't see
conference.
that.
Hold on. Anyway, here's Damien Eccles now. He's got his long beard and he's got his sunglasses. I can't seem to find. Okay, so anyway, if you guys, I'll have to look. Maybe we'll do like a special live where I find this stuff better because I'm not finding it right now. But like I said, there is a special little speech you can give when you take an Alfred plea. I can't seem to find it right now. Yeah, any case that you come across, you can give them the information to the Innocence Project and see if they can help them. Oh, excuse me. So here's the Dateline's lawyer as an Alfred plea. Well, this is only a minute long. Let me try something.
I'm Beth Lowe Bell. I'm the lawyer for Dateline. When someone's charged with a crime, they respond with a plea. They can plead not guilty, meaning I didn't do it, in which case they go to trial. Or they can say guilty, I did do it, so they just go to sentencing. Now, in some of our stories, you might hear about this, an Alford plea. In this case, the defendant is not admitting that they committed the bad acts.
It's December
They
9th.
recognize that the
Is it
prosecution
under
has
your
enough
stars?
evidence
I might be
that they
wrong.
could convict them. And when they offer the plea, the judge accepts it and finds them guilty, and they're convicted. Now, why would somebody who maintains their innocence offer this kind of plea? Well, they get something in exchange. They could get convicted of a lesser crime than they ordinarily would, or some other charges against them are dropped, or they could get a lesser sentence. And that's what happened in the case of North Carolina versus Henry Alford, where the phrase comes from. There, because Alford pled guilty, he avoided the death penalty, even though he maintained his innocence.
Hey, Dateline fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube
Well, that
channel.
was quick.
Subscribe.
But yeah, that's basically, I'm not saying Brendan's going to take an Alford plea. I'm not saying that he should. It's completely and totally up to him and his legal team. I'm sure, I just would like to think that if it was offered, you know, he would take it. But I just know through my talks with him, he just wants to go home. Like, he doesn't, I don't know. I've never talked to him about an Alford plea before, but I also try not to talk about case-related stuff with him because I feel like my role as his friend is to help him escape the mental situation that he's in. So to help him with or to talk about Pokemon or TV shows, movies, stuff like that. So that's mostly what I concentrate on discussing with him when he calls. But you know, I've never had asked him about that. I just know that he said during when I was being interviewed for that one thing from the Wisconsin News 12, he wanted me to make a point to say that he doesn't care if he gets he doesn't want to sue anybody or anything. He just wants to go home. Like, that's what he wanted. That wasn't a point he wanted me to say during that, and I think I did. I think I pretty much said he just wants to go home to his family. That's it. So that's as far as I know of his mindset on what he expects out of this. Yeah, I know he has high hopes of being home for Christmas, and that's one of the reasons why I really want to push everyone sending postcards, letters, tweets, emails, anything we can throw at Governor Evers right now to really try to convey to him how important it is for Brendan to be home by Christmas this year. Yeah, I don't know. I am hoping that Brendan's legal team, I don't know what they could be doing because I'm not privy to that information, obviously. If I was privy, I wouldn't say. But I know I'm hoping that they have something up their sleeve that gives Brendan that hope that he'll be home soon. So I don't know if this election had anything to do with that. I don't know if they're planning on filing something soon. I don't know. But I just know Brendan's always very hopeful to go home. He's very excited about this election, hoping that it might do something to help him somehow. Maybe it will. We'll have to see. So, but that's all I really got. I'm going to give my voice a break. I'm going to lay down now. So yeah, so let me go ahead and say excuse be Brendan Brave. Let me get that pulled up for you guys and see what it is. Well, yeah, last week it was music suggestions, so I'm going to be getting those together tonight. And then, so this one is fall pictures. So if you guys want to show him, he loves the fall season. He loves the season of fall. I think it's one of his favorites, actually. Let me actually look. I think it's his favorite season. Yeah, it's fall. Fall is his favorite season, so that's why. So let's show him some really awesome fall pictures for him to enjoy. You know, I'll make that post here in a little bit. And congratulations again to Governor Evers for winning the election. I hope that he uses his power to do the right thing, to send Brendan home. I hope that this is the what is it called? Term. I hope that this is the term that Governor Evers realizes that he can do something great to help Brendan out. So yeah, so like I said before, message Rhonda at UK Postcards. What's it called again? UK Postcards for Brendan at gmail.com. If you're in the UK, Brendan Talks 89 at gmail.com. If you're anywhere else in the world, so we can get you some more postcards. Like I said, I just sent out a whole bunch, so you guys should be getting them. And I will probably send out a whole bunch more this weekend, while also ordering more postcards, because like I said, we really got to get this going. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. Please, let's get lots of postcards, tweets, emails, emails. Remind him that we're not going anywhere until Brendan gets home. AM. Yeah, I can't believe I did either. Wasn't sure if I could make it, but I did. Any new phrases to add to the cards? I'll think of something. I have a bunch of stuff, tweets that I send to Governor Evers daily. I think there might be something in there that I can pull out and use. I did. Hey, Carol, did you notice, by the way? Did you notice that I put the QR code on it? Did you see it? Did you? I didn't forget. But yeah, so I'll definitely come up with another design, probably because I really want to get these out there to you guys and get these going. So yeah. All right, you guys, have a good evening or good day. Don't forget pizza, and excuse me. I'll talk to you all later. Let's see, what should I help?
He's pardoning all the wrong people. He says, doesn't he see me?
You know? We're going to make him keep seeing them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I hear you.